Good morning and welcome to Sportuccino. We are live. It is Thursday, the 20th of October. In fact, it's my mum's birthday. Happy birthday to her. We'll be digesting all of the biggest sports stories on Sportuccino this morning. So let's begin the show with our morning headlines. Lionel Messi scores a hat-trick as Barcelona spoil Pep Guardiola's return to the Nou Camp by beating Manchester City 4-0. There was also a hat-trick for Mesut Ozil as Arsenal defeated Ludogorets of Bulgaria 6-0. England begin the first test against Bangladesh in Chittagong, and the Cleveland Indians beat the Toronto Blue Jays to reach the World Series for the first time since 1997. Well, today's show is brought to you by Baumann Associates. They are a specialist recruitment-to-recruitment agency based in Brighton and London, and they help other recruitment companies grow. They're also sports enthusiasts, so Baumann Associates staff are often spotted at the Brighton and Hove Albion Amex Stadium and also West Ham's Olympic Park. If you want to know more about them, all you've got to do is go to baumanassociates.com. Thanks for them for being today's sponsor. All right, if you want to get in touch about any of the big stories in sports today, send us a comment on the Facebook page or on Twitter. We're at Sportuccino, and every single morning we have a brand new poll. Let's take a look at it. So today's poll is who will end up the all-time leading scorer in Champions League history? Will it be Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo? I'd love to get your thoughts on that. Of course, Messi got that hat-trick last night against Manchester City. I believe he's now got 89 goals in European competition against Ronaldo's 95. Who will get to 100 first, I think? Who will end up the all-time leading scorer in Champions League history? Messi or Ronaldo? Let us know on the Twitter page at Sportuccino. So every morning we do have a poll. So let's have a look at the result of yesterday's poll. And what we wanted to know is who would you rather have in your team? Would it be Sergio Aguero or Luis Suarez? Well, I think our results have been skewed a little bit by Liverpool fans. I think we got a lot of Liverpool fans. Of course, earlier this week on the show, we had Jamie McLaughlin, who is an editor of the Copite View, and he is a big Liverpool fan, and I think he retweeted this and shared this. And so we've got 98% of you believe that you'd rather have Luis Suarez up front than Sergio Aguero in your team. Now, I was pretty undecided on this. I couldn't really decide, but 98% of you think you'd rather have Luis Suarez. If you disagree with that, let us know on the Facebook comments page or on the Twitter page. So it was a big night of Champions League action. As we mentioned, Barcelona 4-0 winners, Arsenal 6-0 winners against Ludogorets, Bayern Munich, they won 4-1. We're going to go through all of that and also look ahead to tonight's matches in the Europa League. Manchester United versus Fenerbahçe, Inter Milan versus Southampton. The first time the Saints have faced a team from Italy's Serie A. And to go through all of this, I've got one of the best broadcasters in the business, talk radio host. You also know him from Sky News, paper reviews, and much, much more. Jonny Gould, welcome to Sportuccino.
Richard, you know how to butter me up and say the right things.
Exactly, and I mean every single word. You know, you're an experienced driver, and it's great to have you on the show. So let's get straight into it. What I want to know from you firstly, Jonny, is thoughts on our poll today, because we've got Messi scoring a hat-trick last night. He's on 89 goals, Ronaldo on 95. Who do you think will end up being the all-time leading scorer in European football?
Well, as you say, Ronaldo has a 6-goal advantage. Wouldn't it be poetic if those two titans of the game, who just coincidentally have to have played their football at the same time in history, finished with identical records, that they both won the Champions League the same amount of times, and they both scored around a century of goals in the Champions League. The fact of the matter is, I made this little prediction a few years ago that even though Messi had won all those successive Ballon d'Ors over Ronaldo until a couple of years ago, it would be Ronaldo who would have the longer career. Apart from anything, Ronaldo is actually a little bit older, but he seems to be more of a specimen. more of a guy who's able to play a little bit longer, given the sort of dimensions of his body. But then again, Messi has come back under Luis Enrique in a way that he seemed to suffer under previous coaches in the aftermath of Pep Guardiola's disappearance from Barcelona to Bayern Munich. So I think that Ronaldo will pip Messi by about 3 or 4 goals.
Well, I think you're right there. If you look at Ronaldo, he's still so quick. He's not lost any of his pace like some players do in their 30s. I wonder, though, if there's just a psychological advantage right now with Ronaldo because he won that European Championships with Portugal. I think that meant so much to him, not only because what it did for Portugal, but also perhaps for what it does in his battle against Messi.
Do you know what, Richard? I mean, that's a very apposite point because let's not forget 2 years ago, Argentina missed their chance of glory forever by beating Germany in the Maracanã Stadium in Brazil. That really would have been a way for Argentina to have won the World Cup over Brazil forever in their backyard. They didn't take that opportunity. Messi is at the ideal age at the time, age 27, to achieve that. He missed that opportunity. And Ronaldo achieved with Portugal what none of us could have foreseen, a marvellous performance. And in the sense that they were mugged 12 years ago in Lisbon against Greece as host nation, they made up for it by beating the host nation France in exactly the same way. The only thing I would say is, and you're right here to Richard to mention the fact that he is such an athlete and he performs at such a high level all the time, is that he picked up his first kind of injury, didn't he, about 3 months ago? And I always remember when Thierry Henry picked up a side strain at Arsenal in his final year at the Emirates. It was the beginning of the sign that he wasn't quite at the highest level. And Arsene Wenger understood that. He seems to understand when to sell players, Wenger. He sold it to Barcelona for £16.5 million. And although Henry won a Champions League winning medal, he was not quite the footballer he was at Arsenal. I'm looking out for Ronaldo. I'm just wondering whether he can continue to perform at Champions League level in the same way as he's done in previous seasons. I hope I'm proved wrong, but injuries are always a sign that things aren't 100% in your nut.
It'll be interesting if he can prolong his career in a way that kind of Giggs did, as maybe try and change his position, maybe just change exactly how effective he is. Let's talk a little bit about last night's game. Guardiola decided to drop Sergio Aguero. He didn't play him. He went for that kind of false nine, try and pack the midfield. They were 1-0 down when Claudio Bravo got sent off for Man City on his return to the Nou Camp. Was that the turning point, or did he get the tactics wrong?
I think he got it all wrong. And really, when it comes to that elite level of the Champions League, Manchester City can't hold a candle to Barcelona. Man City are a new product, a new project at the very highest level. Barcelona, with Real Madrid, are the persistent champions of Europe. They have the nucleus of a side who never seem to grow old, who've been playing together for 10 long, memorable and glorious years. You can't just put up a tent and hope to produce a peer group that lines up against Barcelona. So whether it had been Bravo or Caballero or even Joe Hart in the Manchester City goal, I'm afraid that was not the difference. The difference was the 11 men and the Barcelona school, and even Pep Guardiola as the trainer for Barcelona before he moved on to Bayern Munich.
So that was the fourth game in a row where Man City haven't won. Now, they've also got a big game next week in the League Cup against Manchester United, Manchester Derby. So quite a lot of pressure on Pep Guardiola right now. But do you expect them to go through? Obviously, Borussia Mönchengladbach, they got a big win away at Celtic last night, 2-0 away. Could City be in danger of not qualifying for the next round?
Absolutely. Mönchengladbach come from the Bundesliga. You never underestimate teams from that particular level. Really, they are, with Spain and England, the two great leagues, the three great leagues in European football. And it would be quite a kick in the teeth, wouldn't it, for Manchester City not to go through to the next stage. I take them to do it because they have to. They can't sack Pep Guardiola. He is the great saviour. There wasn't a great deal wrong with Pellegrini, but that's life, isn't it, in the highest level of coaching around European football. City should make it through, but again, They are well short. They're not even the champions of England. Let's not forget that. They've got to get their football right on an elite level in this country before they can be anything like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, or Barcelona's peers. They've got a long, long way to go. And the fact that the Champions League has been around, since about 1993, and the depth of constant investment, both in players and indeed in youth coaching, demonstrates that if you qualify as a champion year after year, as the likes of Barca and Real and United used to do before Fergie left, shows that there is a massive gulf between the elite of the Champions League and the rest. And unfortunately, the rest includes Man City.
So Arsenal were big 6-0 winners against Ludogorets. Mesut Ozil with a hat-trick. Fantastic volley for the third goal there. Did we learn anything about Arsenal yesterday, or was it always going to be a walkover?
I don't think we learnt anything. I think we were reminded what a fantastic manager Arsene Wenger is. And everyone wants to kick him out, but beware. Not everyone wants to kick him out. I think that's a harsh thing. But there's a massive body of Arsenal fans who are disgruntled with the fact that Arsenal don't win the league every year. But let's not forget, Arsenal, when he started, had a smaller stadium than Aston Villa. They finished above the league, above Villa in the league on a regular basis, and then Villa finished above them on an alternate year basis. He has built that football club through clever signings, through a philosophy which has constantly and consistently left Arsenal in a top four position more than any other club. They have outshone Manchester United in terms of consistent qualification, and they haven't lost since that opening day defeat to Liverpool. I always remember Arsene Wenger being a bit angry in a news conference about 6 years ago where he said, "I will be proved right in the end." And you know what? He might be. I do take him to give it one more chance of winning the big pot, the Champions League. I do give him a chance of doing that. He could do it every season. The team is selected for it. And the fact that they always qualify, 18 successive seasons, he can do that. And I think they could win the league this year. They really could. I mean, it is a fantastically open league. And as City showed last night, and as they've shown in the league a couple of times this season, they're a bit vulnerable, as are United. I do like Arsenal, and I do love Arsene Wenger as a neutral.
And I think Ozil's getting better and better at Arsenal. He had a first few dodgy months, you'd say, when he first got there, but last season he got all those assists. He's now scoring goals this season. I think you're right, they could be quite dangerous. All right, Jonny, tonight you mentioned Manchester United. They're facing Fenerbahçe. They haven't had the best of results recently. They got that 0-0 boring draw with Liverpool on Monday. He's not likely to play his strongest players against Fenerbahçe tonight. But what have you made of Mourinho at Manchester United this season?
I've made that Zlatan Ibrahimovic has been his outstanding signing. He's been a bit unlucky with Mkhitaryan, who has been injured and been a little bit out of sorts. But let's talk about one of the unsung heroes. He's been an ever-present in the United team so far. He's played every game, and he is Valencia. He is playing very well. He is the least star-studded player in the lineup, but they are beginning to develop the nucleus of a team which I guess works between number 1 and number 6. It's the elite players at the front of the pitch that they need to look at closely. Pogba and Zlatan have a little bit of a frustration thing going on. Zlatan likes to lead the team in a sort of way similar to Cantona, but him and Pogba aren't really playing well together. Rooney, I think, is a much more important player than the United fans are willing to give him. They say he's old hat, they say he's over the hill. You know, when it comes to greatness, it isn't necessarily measured in the way that you measure Messi and Ronaldo. This guy has played well over 100 games for England. He's scored over 50 goals for his country. And despite the Goldfish Bowl at which he's played his football year after year after year, let's not forget, he's played 12 years in the Premier League from the age of 17. You know, if that's not a great footballer, I don't know what is. Rooney needs to be hugged and cuddled and caressed, I think, in order to maintain his top level in the autumn of his career.
Well, it'll be interesting if he plays tonight. Obviously, it was his first hat-trick was against Fenerbahçe back in 2004. And you wonder, sometimes those type of games can really kickstart a player's season. I look at Charlie Austin, that happened to him earlier this season. I look at Harry Kane. It was only when he started scoring in the Europa League that he got a real go at Spurs. All right, we've nearly run out of time with you, Jonny. Just before you go, I want to talk a bit about Villa, new manager. Are things changing at your club?
Yes. It's our first away win since August last year. We've had 3 managers since then, but that's not a big worry because we've had 2 prime ministers as well since the last time we won at Bournemouth. Steve Bruce has made a difference. In a way, I'm pleased that we backfired in his opening game against Wolves because it gave him a dress rehearsal of the real issues, the real problems at Aston Villa, which is that the team were immobile, that the team were making the same mistakes. He needed to understand who was there. He's handed out an olive branch to all sorts of players within the squad to say, hey, you could come back, even Gabby Agbonlahor, which is probably just a gesture rather than a reality. But Aston Villa are not too far away from getting promoted. Remember, the top 6 can get promoted in terms of playoff positions, which means that the eventual champion and the 3rd promoted side could be 35 points apart. Villa can still get promoted, and he is just the man. It's a very good appointment. I'm very pleased.
November the 18th, Brighton versus Villa. I'll be there for that. Jonny, thank you so much for your time today. Just before you go, if you could give our viewers a reminder of where they can listen to your brand new show.
The brand new show is on Sundays from November the 20th. But meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, we're on every night, 7 till 10 on Talk Radio, Monday to Thursday. So if you are good enough to tune in tonight, I'll speak to you from 7 o'clock with news and current affairs to entertain you during the evening.
Brilliant. Jonny Gould, thank you for your expert analysis. Insightful as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard. All the best.
Jonny Gould there. Great to get his thoughts on this morning's Sportuccino. Now, remember, we're not just a Facebook live video. We're not just on YouTube, but we're also available as an audio podcast on iTunes and on Stitcher. Welcome to Sportuccino. We got so excited there to tell you that you can rate and review our show on iTunes. It's really easy. That was a video explaining exactly how to do it. Please help support our show by doing that. Other people who have supported our show are Baumann Associates. They are today's sponsor. They are a specialist recruitment-to-recruitment agency based in Brighton and London. They help other recruitment companies grow. They also love their sports. You'll see them at the Brighton Amex Stadium and also at West Ham's Olympic Park in London. If you want to know more about them, just go to their website, baumanassociates.com. Thanks to them for supporting the show. If you would like to be a sponsor of Sportuccino, it's really easy. Just send us an email, sportsdesk@sportuccino.com. Now, with Jonny, we were talking about a lot of the Champions League fixtures, but let's run through everything which happened on Wednesday. So we already mentioned Arsenal's 6-0 win over Ludogorets. Paris Saint-Germain, they won 3-0 against Basel in Group A. Edison Cavani scoring a penalty for their third goal. That's his 16th goal in 12 games for both club and country. Group B, Benfica beat Dinamo Kiev 2-0. While Napoli, they missed the chance to become the first team ever to go through to the knockout rounds after just 3 matches. They lost at home to Besiktas. They've lost their Polish striker Milik due to an injury. They lost him before that game. He'll be out for a few months. Was that potentially the difference there? Group G, we mentioned Barcelona against Manchester City, and it was 2 mistakes by Kolo Touré that allowed Borussia Mönchengladbach to beat Celtic 2-0 in Glasgow. While in Group D, Bayern Munich, they had a bit of a bad spell. I think they hadn't won in 3 matches in all competitions. Well, they beat the Dutch side, PSV Eindhoven, 4-1. And among the goals was their young German player, Joshua Kimmich. He's now got 7 goals in his last 8 games. And talking about goal-scoring stats, Atletico Madrid's winger, Carrasco, he has now scored 4 goals in his last 2. He got a hat-trick at the weekend, and he scored the only goal in Atletico's 1-0 win over Rostov. Of course, Atletico got to the final last season where they lost to their neighbours Real Madrid, of course. So that is all what happened last night in the Champions League. If you've got any thoughts about that, send us a message on the Facebook page. Send us a tweet at Sportuccino. We would love to hear from you. So one of the things we also spoke to Jonny about this morning was the Europa League. A huge amount of fixtures tonight. I've picked out some of the ones which interest me on Thursday. So let's have a look at those. So Group A, Manchester United against Fenerbahçe. Robin van Persie returning to Old Trafford with Fenerbahçe. In Group E, Roma take on Austria Vienna. If Francesco Totti plays, that will be his 100th appearance in a UEFA competition. In Group G, it's the Spanish side Celta Vigo versus Ajax Amsterdam. Ajax have won their first 2 games in Group G. In Group I, it's the Ligue 1 surprise leaders Nice with Mario Balotelli. They are away at Salzburg. Now, for all of you people who are interested in English players playing abroad, did you know that Andre Wisdom from Liverpool, he's on loan at Salzburg. We'll see how he gets on for them. Group J, Fiorentina are away to Slovan Liberec. And in Group K, it's Inter Milan versus Southampton. The first time the Saints have faced an Italian side from Syria. Amazing moment for them. They had a great season last year with Koeman. They're now with Claude Puel. We'll see how they get on at the San Siro. Those are the games which every fan wants to be a part of. All right, so you may have seen on our Facebook page that we are giving away our first prize in a competition. All you have to do is go to the Facebook page and share the link, because you could win the 2XU Elite MCS compression tights. They're worth £110. It's really easy to do it. All you have to do is share the link of this competition on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Sportuccino, or share tomorrow's live Sportuccino from 8 a.m. And you have until the end of this Sunday to do that sharing. If you've done that sharing, we will then put you in a pot and we will choose a winner, and we will select it and announce it on Monday's Sportuccino. So that is the chance to win the 2XU Elite MCS compression tights. I'll also be reviewing that. I tried out in my local gym. I've got a nice video to show you, so look forward to that on tomorrow's Sportuccino. But today's product review for health and nutrition and everything like that, we're actually trying our first beer. Now, I've got some very good friends of mine who, big fan of the show, and they said, Richard, why aren't you reviewing beers? And I said, well, beers aren't healthy. Beers aren't what you should be reviewing. And I said, well, no, they're not necessarily healthy, but apparently this is a gluten-free beer. Now, I've spoken about going gluten-free on this show and the benefits it's given me, and we had Ian Pritchard from 360 talking about the benefits it gave him and to his clients. So I bought this from Tesco. I can't remember the price, and here it is. The world's most award-winning gluten-free beer, DauraDamm. 100% natural ingredients. So let's try it. I've got some friends who would say it's never too early for a beer. So it's not bad. I actually don't mind it. I think it's okay. Would I rush out and choose it ahead of another beer on a night out? Not necessarily. If I wanted to stay a bit more healthy, I probably wouldn't drink beer at all. I'd have a wine or something if I really wanted alcohol. But if I was going to drink beer and I wanted to stay gluten-free and really fancied the taste of beer, it's kind of a mix between like what I call like a lager and maybe like a shandy, I guess. It's kind of that in-between taste. And yeah, let's talk about the ingredients. And this is the interesting part about this. This is what's very interesting about the DauraDamm gluten-free beer. If you look at the ingredients, it actually says barley malt, rice, hops. Barley malt, from what I can tell from my research from Gluten, is that is actually gluten. So this gluten-free beer, I don't think is 100% gluten. Now, I did a bit of research on it a while ago, and they said, from what I could tell on some internet forums and things like that, is that it's pretty close to being gluten-free, but it isn't quite gluten-free. And I think there are certain countries, don't quote me on this, I think there are certain countries which won't sell this beer because they can't prove that it's 100% gluten-free. But you can buy it in the UK, you can buy it at your local Tesco or supermarket, whichever supermarket you use. It's not bad. Whether it's gluten-free, we'll have to see. Probably don't try it if you are a celiac, but if you're just trying to stay gluten-free, trying to stay healthy, I guess give it a swig, give it a try. Let me know what you think. If there is another health, nutrition product, maybe a breakfast food, maybe an app, if there's anything you'd like me to try or anything you'd recommend, let us know on the Facebook comments page. Let us know on the Twitter page. Let us know using an email, sportsdesk@sportuccino.com. We would love to hear from you. All right, one of the things which is going on in the world of sports today, it is the England first test against Bangladesh. The latest score right now from Chittagong, England are 106 for 5. Moeen Ali's still there, unbeaten on 22. Joe Root got 40, but pretty much everyone else is having a bit of a bad day. Apart from the debutant for Bangladesh, I believe he's 18 years old, Mehdi Hassan. He's already taken, it looks like, 2 wickets. I believe he took the wicket of England's debutant Ben Duckett. He's also taken the wicket of Joe Root. Joe Root out for 40. England 106 for 5. They're in the second session, 40 overs played. We'll see how they get on against Bangladesh. England versus Bangladesh there. That is the latest from Chittagong. So we've spoken about a lot of things, football, cricket. Love to get your views. We're going to be back again tomorrow morning, but just before we go, let's have a reminder of this morning's headlines. Lionel Messi scores a hat-trick as Barcelona spoil Pep Guardiola's return to the Nou Camp by beating Manchester City 4-0. There was also a hat-trick for Mesut Ozil as Arsenal defeated Ludogorets of Bulgaria 6-0. England begin the first test against Bangladesh in Chittagong. And the Cleveland Indians beat the Toronto Blue Jays to reach the World Series for the first time since 1997. So that's it for today's Sportuccino, Thursday the 20th of October. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Tomorrow's show, we will be predicting this weekend's Premier League matches with AccuScore. We've got one of their expert analysts on the show. We'll be taking a look at who might be winning where. Perhaps you might like to place a bet on their predictions, albeit that doesn't come from Sportuccino. That is just their advice. Gamble responsibly, people. But we will be looking ahead to a big weekend of Premier League action. We'll also look back at what's going on in the cricket and much, much more, all on Sportuccino. We will be back tomorrow morning from 8 o'clock.